Hey, Dustin here, Smoking Eagles Rod Shop, and today we're going to be talking about the brand new 455 that I've got to put in Carmen Electra. Now, who's Carmen Electra? If you're new around here, obviously you don't know, so I'm going to get you up to speed. It's a 71 Buick Electra 225 that I purchased off Facebook Marketplace maybe 6 years ago or so for like 650 bucks. There's mice living in the intake. Nobody thought it would ever run again. Then my good buddy Jason and I went to Cleetus and Cars Burnout Rivals down in Indianapolis, Indiana, and we were like, you know what? We can do burnouts. We've been doing them for years. The only difference is there's like 100,000 million people staring at you while you're doing it. Let's do it, right? So get home, drag this thing out of the weeds, drag it into shop. Nobody thought it would ever run. Long story short, evicted the mice. It was an absolute ripper. Got her out, did my 30 burnout competitions, got it street legal, drive it up and down the street, take it to car shows. Had an absolute blast. And then last year during Cleetus and Cars 2024 burnouts, we're ripping around there. Massive, super awesome burnout. I did stage 1 head, stage 1 cam, whole bunch of work to the motor. It's running absolutely awesome, but we all know what that means. This piston decided it was gonna take the day off right in the middle of the competition. Well, not the middle, the very end of the competition. And yeah.
What do you guys think of the big old boat?
Hey, can you pop your hood for us?
No left. So, what did I do? I shoved Carmen off in the weeds and I thought, let's start watching Facebook Marketplace. And lo and behold, right before Christmas this year, I saw this beauty posted on Facebook Marketplace. Had to have it. Let me get you in here and show you the deal. Now, if you don't know much about these, this is a Buick 455. This actually happens to be like a 1973. That's irrelevant unless you have a stock engine. So the stock engine we had in Carmen before was a 71 455, which is 8.5 to 1 compression. In 70, they were at about 10.5 to 1 compression, give or take, depending on the model you had and things of that nature. But 71 and later, they dropped them down to 8.5 to 1. So you obviously want better compression to make better horsepower. These 455s are known to be absolute torque monsters. Now, I know what you're thinking. There's other big blocks that make torque, and there's other engines that make torque, and blah, blah, blah. What's so special about this grandma car Buick 455? Well, the Buick 455 has weight reduction in the bottom of the block to make it lighter. As you can see, the valve covers are really narrow, almost like a small block Chevy, but this is actually a big block. This is 455 cubic inches. The pistons are absolutely massive in this engine. But if you put an aluminum intake on it, just like I've done here, this now weighs the same as a small block Chevy. Granted, it's a small block Chevy with a cast iron intake, but at the drag strip, weight is everything when it comes down to it. And how do you get the most torque and horsepower out of something that weighs as much as a Sherman tank? Well, you're kind of hosed, right? So that was the beauty of the big block 455, was it makes massive torque with a generally light frame, I guess, is the way to put it. So this makes 550 foot-pounds of torque at 2,800 RPMs from the factory stock. Now this engine was rebuilt in 2002. It was line honed, bored 10 over, balanced. The rods are all balanced, the crank's balanced, everything's been done. It's got ARP head studs. It's been zero decked, which if you don't know what that means, they've machined the top of the cylinders down to maximize the compression. They've machined the heads down so that there's the minimum amount of clearance between the pistons and the valves, just to try and boost that compression up as high as they possibly can. It has flat top pistons in it. It's got what else? Well, it had a high volume oil pump. I fixed that. I got a video coming out soon on that if it's not already out. I've got receipts on the manifolds that were sent out and professionally ported so that you get the maximum flow. Headers for these 455 Buicks are very expensive, and they only make them for like one model of car. So they actually make headers that will fit this engine, that will fit in Carmen Electra. The problem with them is the long tube headers where the exhaust comes out. It's kind of hard to show you right now because I have the transmission out, but the long tube headers stop right here and your transmission cross member runs right in front of them. So you have to either alter your headers and do a bunch of jerking around, or you have to build your own cross member. It's just, that's why everybody runs the stock manifolds. Well, within reason. It depends on, you know, your budget, right? Now this has the Edelbrock B4B intake, which is the recommended intake. There's like one or two other intakes on the market that they make for the Buick 455s that are good intakes as well, but you have to be a lot higher up. You need a lot bigger cam, a lot, you know, crazier build. This is by far the optimum budget build. And by budget build, I don't mean like as cheap as possible. What I'm saying is, if you had like a 70 or a 71 Buick Skylark or a Grand Sport, and you had a 455 and you were gonna rebuild it, and you were like, you know, I wanna rebuild this engine, I want it to be beefed up and as good as it can be within reason. You know, I'm not trying to break the bank, I'm not taking out a small, you know, personal loan to build this engine. I just want a little bit bigger cam, I want better heads, I want better compression, you know, we're boring it out, so we need better pistons, all that stuff, without getting super, super crazy. This is the engine you would have. It's still running the stock valve train. Of course, it's all brand new. I got adjustable push rods. I got stage 1 springs. The cam is about 2 sizes bigger than a stage 1 cam. It could actually go up another cam size or 2. But again, like I said, this engine is fresh rebuilt. I was told that it was rebuilt back in 2002, but it was never actually put in a car, never broke in, and never ran. Now, I've got all the receipts and the paperwork for all the work that was done, and it is all dated 02. I found it really hard to believe that in 20 years, this engine had sat somewhere and never been turned over and started up. I shoved the bore scope down in all the cylinders. Everything looks great. There's no rust. The guy told me that they would prime it all the time, once a year or whatever, pour oil down on top of all the valves to keep everything nice. And everything looks and appeared to be really, really nice. So I snatched it up, brought it home. I've been doing some work on it and some other videos. I'll have links in the description to all those videos, so you can go check them out. It appears to be that it's never been run. The cam has no wear lines on any of the lobes. It still has assembly lube on all of the lifters and the cam. It had, I pulled the intake off of it because I had an Edelbrock B4B intake on it, but it was an older model. This is the newer model. I bought it last summer and I ported it myself. The other one wasn't ported, so I really wanted to look at that cam and just get an intake on there that I was comfortable with. I know it's set up for my carburetor and all my stuff, linkages and whatnots. And when I did that, the cylinders on the heads where they ported them, they all had permanent marker in there marking the cylinder heads, because my assumption is somebody was taking CC measurements, because that's how they have a tendency to do that, and they balance things. You always mark things and write them down so you know, hey, I've already been here and I'm headed here, right? If they started this thing up and gas flowed through this intake, well, not this intake, the other intake, it would have eaten that marker off of there just in a cam break-in. Just crazy. I got a smoking deal. I'm not going to tell you what I paid for it, but I'll tell you what, guys. If you want something and you're looking for something, you know, anybody can find a small block, big block Chevy, small block, big block Ford out there. But if you want one of those oddballs, you know, you want Oldsmobile something or other, or you want a Pontiac or a frickin' Hemi or a Chrysler, whatever, they're out there. Don't just get on Marketplace and buy the first piece of junk that some guy's got listed for 4 times what it's worth. Take your time, save your money, keep your feelers out there, let all your buddies know what you're looking at, because we're all, you know, thumbing through the old Facebook on the toilet, right? Just keep your feelers out there, take your time, take a deep breath, don't get in a rush. It will come to you. When it's right, it'll be right. This was right. Here in just a little bit, Jason's gonna stop by and we're gonna start putting this thing in Carmen Electra. Burnouts are coming here very soon, and in true Smoking Eagles Rod Shop style, Cleetus opened up the burnout registration for burnouts down in Indy this year, and I just went on there and registered. Don't even have an engine in my car, no transmissions sitting over here, no torque converter, rear ends, yeah, not good. But you know, we'll be there. It's fine. That's in April. Well, today is Super Bowl Sunday. So while you guys are probably watching the Super Bowl and hanging out, I'm going to be putting an engine in Carmen Electra so we can go to the burnouts on pay-per-view in Indianapolis. So if you like Buick content, if you like working on cars, I do all kinds of stuff. Mini bikes, dirt bikes, small tractors, you name it, we do it. But right now, we're focusing on the old Buick 455. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Tell all your friends. We've got merch available on our website. All proceeds help support the channel and all the crazy stuff we're doing. We also have a membership program. I think it's like $3 a month. I know it's like $3 a month. If you're interested in any of that stuff, there'll be links in the description, and it's on the main page of the YouTube channel. Go check that stuff out. I'll post some other videos around my melon here, things we're doing around the shop. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you guys found this a little informative. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I'll try and answer them as fast as possible. And yeah, till next time, keep on wrenching. Peace.